Wow, Suzuki has gone and built a brand new DRZ4S. Back in the year 2000, they came out with the DRZ400, and since that time, it really hasn't changed. Yeah, you can buy a brand new 2024, 2025 DRZ400 still on the showroom floors. When they're going to discontinue that model, I don't know. But we have a brand new bike, the Suzuki DRZ4S. And I'll tell you what, I hope it lives up to what the old bike was, because the old bike was
the most reliable dual sport motorcycle ever made.
And that's why people buy it today. So let me know, all you DRZ400 original owners, what are you going to do? Are you going to hang on to yours? Are you going to trade up and sell and get the new version? Maybe you're going to buy the new version and you're going to keep both of them. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. We're going to talk about it, so hang around. Let's get started and compare these two bikes. First, let's give a little back history to the DRZ400 original. And it was released in the year 2000, Y2K. Any of you remember that? Yeah, all our computers were supposed to stop. Planes were supposed to fall out of the sky just because we're flipping from 1999 to the year 2000. Well, guess what? It didn't happen. What did happen was Suzuki released an iconic bike, the DRZ400. This bike, since release, has been ridden by thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people. It's been a great entry-level bike for many people into the world of motorcycling, especially off-road motorcycling. The original 400 was a simplistic design. It was easy to maintain. It was a simple man's no-frills motorcycle, a way to get out on the road, get out on the trail, and get a leg over a bike and not have to worry. At that time, many companies were starting to build these very high-performance specific bikes. We all know the KTMs. We love the KTMs. But yeah, they just kept getting better and better and better. But as they did, they became more high maintenance. And there was a lot that could go wrong in some of these bikes. This original bike also had a cultural impact on motorcycling. So many people bought this bike and it was their first introduction into off-road riding. And it's not the easiest bike to ride because of how tall it is. But I bet thousands and thousands of people have thrown a leg over this bike and have since ridden on into different motorcycles and continued their motorcycle lifestyle just because of the Suzuki DRZ400. In an era where motorcycle manufacturers started specializing in all these different bikes, it could go street, it could go off-road, but it couldn't do both. And the DRZ was one of the first bikes that was a dual sport, and I consider it a dual sport. You could ride it to where you wanted to, you could get off-road, and it was very capable off-road. So it introduced the world to dual sport, not quite adventure riding as we know it today, because some of those big bikes are more street than they are off-road. But it definitely got people thinking that I can have one bike and it can do it all. And that's what the DRZ400 was for so many people, and still is. Its blend of performance, ruggedness, dependability made it a good choice for those weekend warriors that just wanted to get out and ride a couple hours, maybe every other weekend. But it also was a good bike for seasoned riders, and they enjoyed this bike as well and put it through its paces. When you have a bike that's been around for 25 years, there's going to be a ton of aftermarket products available for it. You can make this bike anything you want. I'll call it a Frankenstein bike because you've seen it off-road, you've seen it on-road, you've seen it supermoto. You name it, you can put something on this bike or take something off this bike and make it exactly what you want it to be. And many people have. There's lots of examples of the different varieties of the DRZ400. I would venture to say that the DRZ400 is why we have adventure bikes today. People that wanted to ride both on-road and off-road, and you could do it on a DRZ400. And some of the new adventure bikes are great, and they've even surpassed where the DRZ400 is. But it's the history of that first Suzuki that has led us down this path of durable, dual-purpose, multi-sport, enduro, adventure, whatever you want to call it, bikes that will go anywhere and do everything pretty well. As we look back at the original 400 that Suzuki offered everybody, It's clear to see that there is a cult following with this bike, and there are people that are highly passionate about it and are going to be sad when it goes away. And hopefully it won't. Maybe Suzuki will continue to make it, but I feel like they're going to pull this bike eventually just because of the emissions control and different codes that they have to follow. But right now you can still get one. Well, that's a little bit of the old 400. Let's talk about the new 400, the new 4S. Let's do a little comparison. I've got some graphics to show you some information about what's changed on the new one versus the old one, and believe me, it's a ton. And at the very end, we'll get to the most important part, and that's the price. We have the same displacement at 398 cc's for both the old and the new, and really, folks, that's where it ends. So horsepower has increased in the new 4S. We're going from 32 horsepower from the original to 38 horsepower in the new 4S. Torque has increased also in the new model, 27 foot-pounds versus 24 foot-pounds in the older model. Transmission. So guess what? You still get a 5-speed transmission in the new 4S. I know everybody has wanted another gear in this bike since the day it came out in the year 2000, and you think Suzuki would do that and give you the 6th gear. They didn't. Now, they say that it's like a 6th gear because they've reconfigured the gearing and people won't need that 6th gear. But, you know, I'm not a believer until I sit on one and ride one. I know my Royal Enfield Himalayan 411 has 5 gears, and when I test rode the new 450 with a 6th gear, night and day difference. I can do highway speeds on the 450 now, 70, 75, and it's comfortable. It's not winding out. Oh my gosh, will you look at that? I'm in a 6th gear. What the heck? What are you doing, Himalayan? That's the gear I've been missing in the 411. That 6th gear changes the whole bike for me, and I wish that's what they would have done with the new 4S. So the seat height changed a little bit. It's a little bit smaller on the new 4S, 36.8 on the old bike and 36.2 on the new bike. So it's still for average size riders. If you're short, this might not be the bike for you to start out on. But because of that height, we get the same good ground clearance at 11.8 inches, which is the same on both the 400 and the 4S. So when we talk about weight, the original 400 is 317 pounds. And so you think you're going into a new bike and you're going to get something that's a little bit lighter because you're going to use components that aren't as heavy. But the new bike is 333 pounds, which could come from the fact that this bike has to meet emissions and there's some other things that they've put on the bike. But yeah, you're going to gain a little bit of weight with this new bike. Somewhat of a surprise is the size of the fuel tank. The fuel tank on the original model is 2.6 gallons. The new one is 2.3 gallons. They say that the new one's a little bit more efficient, probably because of electronic fuel injection. And so as far as how far you're going to get out of a tank of gas, it's going to be very similar to the original DRZ400. The size of the wheels stay the same. We've got 18 inches on the rear and 21 inches on the front. Suspension, we haven't really heard about much because they haven't had a lot of testing, real-world testing. It's going from Showa shocks to KYB shocks, and you actually lose a little bit of travel in the front suspension. The 400 has 11.3 inches of travel, where the new 4S has 11 inches of travel. The original 400 has adjustable compression, rebound, and preload, whereas on the 4S, they just have adjustable compression and rebound. The rear suspension is the same on both models with 11.6 inches of travel. The difference comes in what you can adjust. With the 400, you can only adjust the compression and the preload, whereas the 4S, you can adjust compression, rebound, and preload. So let's take a look at some things that are unique to the 4S. Some things that Suzuki has done that has changed from the 400 that they've put their money into, and they've charged you for it. So what's new? We have a thoroughly upgraded engine with electronic fuel injection, a steel frame with aluminum subframe. They have a new ride-by-wire electronically controlled throttle body. So we have a higher lift cam profile and a new piston design. The new 4S has dual spark technology with 2 iridium spark plugs. So back to the suspension I mentioned earlier, KYB adjustable inverted front forks and KYB adjustable rear suspension. Here's where the changes really come into play, and this is where some of the increase in price comes from as well. With this new model, you get Suzuki's SIR system, or the Suzuki Intelligent Ride System. Part of that SIR system is 3 different modes or 3 different levels of power. You get 4 modes for the traction control, which consist of 1, 2, gravel, and off. Next up, you've got anti-lock brakes all around. The different modes on it are you can have them all on, all off, or just the front on and the rear off, which typically is what we like to use off-road. Another benefit for the 4S is a larger LCD instrument panel, and this time we get a fuel level indicator. All the lighting is LED lighting with a bifunctional LED headlight. So they say this new bike should be more comfortable. It's got new, wider, tapered handlebars, wider foot pegs, and a redesigned seat. We also get an updated, slimmer body profile and new plastics all around. So with this new higher performance engine, they've also given us a new radiator with larger cooling fan. That's some of the main big changes that Suzuki has made. There's also a lot of little things they've done that I'm not going to get into here, but it's time to move on to one of the most important things, and that's how much does this bad boy cost? So our list price for the DRZ400 is $7,199. The list price for the new 4S, $8,999. But wait, there's more. For the original, you get a $460 destination charge. With the new bike, the 4S, you get a $600 destination charge. There is a little change here. The old model, you get a $100 charge for freight. The new model, they don't charge you any freight. It's kind of confusing. I don't understand the pricing here, but that's what they say. So what's the bottom line? For the new DRZ400, you're going to pay $7,699 plus tax. For the new DRZ4S, you're going to pay $9,599 plus tax. We'll see if it's worth it. I don't know what sales are yet. They're just coming out on the market right now. I might get a chance to ride one of the new ones here in a week. If so, I'll do a video on that as well. So there we are. We've got a brand new bike 25 years after the original. It's got a lot of different upgrades to it. It's also got a big hefty price tag. So let me know in the comments what you feel like you're going to do. If you're going to go out and look at the new one, buy the new one, keep your old one, or maybe you're a brand new rider and you want to look at the 4S and what you feel like might be a new purchase for you for a new on-road, off-road bike. To me, it looks like a pretty sweet bike. I think I'm going to get a ride it here in a week or two, and I'll let you know what that's like. Do me a favor, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, give me a like, leave some comments, and then I'll see you in the next video. But stay tuned. We've got one more thing with Zoe. Is that one of your diamond art, Zoe?
Mm-hmm. Daddy had a diamond art that I made for me. It's like you on my sunshine.
She likes You Are My Sunshine.
No, not why I got it.
Do you know what kind of flower that is?
No.
Huh?
No.
Take the first part of sunshine. What's the big thing in the sky that shines?
The sun.
Right? And so what is that?
The sunflower.
Yeah, very good.
Yep.
That was almost not going to work.
I know, right? Not what?
Oh, that's pretty. Move it over this way.
Like it?
Yeah.
You did a good job, Zoe. Why are you so sleepy?
I don't know.
Why do you have a silly smile on your face?
I don't know.
Oh, I like the bag.
Oh,
Did you make me something?
yeah.
Oh, you got it down. That's so pretty. Thank you. I
It's a
love
nice work.
it. I